Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
I'm Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
This is the farm where we grow cross-stitch.
One stitch at a time. Today is Monday, July 31st. It's the last day of July.
The fudge!
Where has summer been? This is the summer that isn't. And I'm salty about it. I know. Everybody loves fall. I don't. Well, I do love fall. But I want summer first. And I have feelings about it.
No, not at all.
My birds have grown better sunflowers than I did this year. Actually, that's probably not entirely true. Because I do think when my big ones pop, they're going to be big sized. Whereas the ones that from the bird feeder have been kind of small.
I mean, there's one benefit.
What?
You didn't coat the seeds in fertilizer.
I have determined that basically what I'm going to do for winter, spring, is put the bird feeder, is somehow hang it in the flower bed where I want the sunflowers to grow. I will put my nice big sunflower, my mixed sunflower seeds in there and come spring, but I'm gonna see how that goes. I have to figure out how to make this work because of where the flower bed is, but
Yeah, the only problem is, and I've actually seen this happen before, if you put a bird feeder too close to a deck or porch, and there are any cats in the area, you run out of birds.
well, that is my thought and my fear. So but I would like to figure out how to make it work because frankly, anyways, how has y'all's week been? Ours was pretty good. It was warm. We had some good pool days.
Yep. I had some days where I literally got home. I told her, can you make sure my swimsuit's good? I literally came home, got in my swim trunks, and just laid down in the pool.
And it was good. Life was good. Life was good.
Oh, yeah.
So, uneventful. Except for my annoyance with birds. I'm not really annoyed by it. I'm only slightly annoyed by it because where I had the bird feeder, I'm slightly annoyed by it because where I put the bird feeder, it kind of leaves part of the yard wild and messy looking.
Question, why don't you just put it by that window there?
Because that's not where I want the sunflowers. We'll discuss it later.
Oh, well, that is a good reason. Hey, this is what I know about gardens. Green.
Yes.
And if I touch it, it turns brown.
No. You have helped me in the past, and you have done a good job.
Helping, yes. Doing it myself? Rocks.
Hasn't been
and weed killer.
That bad.
No, I'm just saying the thing that I would actually prefer.
Well.
Keep in mind, I still have a garden, but I don't like flowers. Yeah.
Oh, so here's my great story from today.
Uh-oh.
So, the front flower bed on our house sits in front of our front porch. And, it goes across our front porch. And our mailbox is on the other side of the steps for our front porch. Our front flower bed is overrun by blindweed. If you know what blindweed is, you know I am, hating life right now. But today, I'm working on it. It's become a 3-day project. Because I'm not done with it yet. Today I was bent over, butt stuck up in the air. Like, my butt wasn't facing the street. I was, this way against the house. Butt stuck up in the air. I'm pulling weeds. I'm doing all of this. I happened to uncover one of the azaleas that I planted in the spring. And it is doing really well. Really well. I'm quite pleased because one of the azalea plants died. The hydrangea I put up there, it's trying, but it's struggling. The lupine I put up there is trying, but it's struggling. But this azalea plant actually looks really nice and healthy. And I was like, oh, look at you thriving over here, little buddy. Or something to that effect. As I said it, out of my peripheral vision, I see movement. I look over, here comes the mailman around the house. Mailman heard me talking about plants.
Do you really think it's the 20,000th time he's heard that this year?
I certainly hope not. But I'm like, woo, well, he already probably thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah. But it was really funny. I was actually working today, shoving just how I had to be standing. I was standing up, leaning all the way down to the floor, so the guy behind me got a really nice view of my butt. And there was somebody behind me. But he needed to be there to do his job. I needed to be there to do my job. I'm sitting there like, oh, dear Lord, I'm so glad I wore one of my long shirts today so I don't plumber's crack the poor man.
That's been my Monday. And I'm tired of road construction.
Oh.
It's like the biggest blessing with the end of summer is road construction's over.
Yeah, somebody thought it'd be a good idea that for the month of August to mess with one of the main exits off the turnpike for Cedar Point, like to close it.
Oh, lovely. Well,
like I don't know if it's the main one, but it's one of them.
Well, last summer they did all that downtown Grafton, pulled up the street, took the roadway, pulled the roadway up, refinished the curbs and sidewalks, and spent all this money to repave the street from the one edge of downtown to the outskirts of town. The gas company is now ripping all that up because they're doing lines under the road. They're fixing lines under, or doing something with the lines under the road. I don't know. Like, I'm over road construction.
Here's my question. Why can't you all coordinate?
How? I don't understand that. I just don't.
I mean, there probably is a reason, but I have actually had one road closed for 2 months because of the fact that it was a border between the village, the town, and the county. The village did something, and then as soon as they got done, the county did something. I think it was in Wellington.
Yeah.
And I am just sitting here, and I was actually stopped, and so one of the guys was standing there. The guy with the flagger, I opened like, could you all coordinate it with the people who were here last week? And he's like, I don't know why they don't. I'm just like, oh. Even the construction guy was like, oh.
Okay. Yeah, that's something. So, minor aggravations in life, but whatever. Okay. Why don't we shout out our commenters? Well, I try to figure out what the hell is going on across the street at the church.
Hi, commenters. How are you?
Distracted by church people.
Glenna.
Andrea. Sarah.
Susie Scott. Twice.
Yes. Dawn from Frosty X Stitch.
Dawn and Teresa.
And Susie commented twice because I was wearing her favorite top. She thought my tank top last week was black and white polka dots. It's actually very dark blue and white stars. I mean, it's still adorable tank top, but it's just a tank top. I got it at the garage sale. I got it at the church rummage sale a couple summers ago because I had no tank tops. Now I have tank tops. I do need to start figuring out how to replace them with my other shirts because they are starting to get holes in them. But, yeah. So, and...
If you get a few more shirts in them, you can sell them as a grunge look.
Seriously. I have a pair of pants that my mother absolutely despises because they have holes in them. I don't wear them very much in public. I mean, I wear them to the grocery store Sunday. I wear them outside. Mostly I wear them around the house or outside. Sometimes I'll go in public with them, depending on what my laundry status is. But my mother just hates it when she sees them.
Maybe it's the fact that it's almost as much hole as it is fabric.
It's actually not that bad. There's like a hole in the knee on each leg, and that's like it. And they're full long pants. Just like that. So, and then Susie thought of something. She had a thought. I need to come up with an execution of this thought. She thought we should sell Slovak Farm t-shirts. I think that would be excellent if I could figure out I need to find a t-shirt site.
I know somebody who can help.
I need to find somewhere we can do shirts for a fundraiser for the Slovak Farm.
As I said, I know somebody that can help. Because they actually do it themselves. I actually might be able to I think I have one or two very artsy people I know who I might be able to hire to get us new logos.
I don't need a new logo.
No, I meant for shirts, different things to put on shirts.
I literally want a shirt that says the Slovak Farm.
Oh, I was good.
Where we grow cross stitch one stitch at a time.
Oh, I was thinking of full merch lineup.
I don't know if we have a demand for a merch lineup, but
hey, comment below. Do you want a Slovak Farm shirt? Because what I was thinking of is literally just having the Slovak Farm where we grow cross stitch one stitch at a time with an X.
That would be my first concept for a shirt. If you're interested, comment below, and we'll try to find something. I'll figure something out, because I do want to do it as a
I am
fundraiser.
In a couple of Discords that have like 4 or 5 content creators, and they all make sell t-shirts.
Well, there you
so
go.
I can just ask them where they get it.
Right.
Funny story.
Okay.
Would you like to know what reminded me to actually like do something?
What?
One of the guys who's like into making Mandalorian armor, he's just generally crafty.
Yeah.
Started watching our videos.
Well, there you go.
And he commented
Hello,
like,
person, I don't know your name.
Chef. It's a screen name.
Oh. Like, chef, are you like a chef?
He
Like,
likes
are
to
you
cook.
a food person? We need to have this discussion.
Hey, Chef, now you have to comment below and start the food conversation. I am not sorry for you. By the way, I should show you the other streamer I watches. He actually has a section for all the recipes he shares, because one of his things on Twitch is share a recipe for so many points.
Oh, okay.
And we love spamming 4 or 5 of them at once.
Oh, well, there you go.
And he's a good guy.
Oh, there you go.
So they love talking about food. But yeah, he was actually the one that reminded me to start on that.
Well, so, and I believe I'm behind on watching Flosstube. I'm not gonna lie right now. I'm behind on watching Flosstube.
We've had very busy weeks.
We've had some busyness going on. I believe that the under 1,000 sub club list is, I believe we're publishing it. I know that we're working through the list, trying to verify if the channel still exists, if it's still active, if they've gotten over 1,000 subscribers. But I think I know Maury and I had talked about possibly just working through that while, in terms of having the list published, because I think it's just going to be an ongoing thing where we have to kind of keep an eye on it. So probably going to have to figure out how to divide it up between me, her, and Dawn. I know Dawn, Frosty Egg Stitch took it over. Because the ones that started it just had too much. And Morty jumped on helping her, and of course, Morty and I are friends, so I jumped on helping her, and she's like, "Are you sure you can help?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, the more hands that are helping, the easier the workload is, so I'm going to verify that with her before I publish our video, and if it's active, we will publish it on the video.
Okay.
Okay, now that we have spent 15 minutes talking about birds and birdseed eating habits and t-shirts and social media.
Hey, and I'm going to make it 17 minutes.
Squirrel!
You just give me another squirrel.
We're having squirrels today.
A fully straight man had to make an emergency shoe run.
He did.
Because I went on a job where they require steel-toed boots, and I didn't use a chair the entire day. And the soles in my old pair of steel-toes were basically non-existent. So I literally was driving home on Thursday, and my feet were killing me. And the Google Maps will offer you a detour. But if you don't hit no because you're driving, it automatically selects the detour for you. Because it saves you a minute. So I wound up going through bumfuck this and the wheat east ham bimble that. And I actually drove. I was like, wait a minute, I know where I am. Wait a minute. The place that we're actually going to have to wait until the weekend to go to, because it's 30 minutes from the house, is 2 minutes from here. Detour. And I got myself a pair of new shoes, but I just thought it was hysterical that I had to make an emergency shoe run.
I love you.
I love you.
Emergency shoe run, yes. So, why don't we shoot on over into whips, and we will show you what we've worked on this week.
Yep.
Whips.
Okay, I got a little bit of work done. I actually think I probably spent 10 hours on this over 2 days or more.
I don't think it was that much.
I think I said like 6 or 7 on Saturday. It feels like it anyway.
Okay.
I worked on Evanora by Nora Corbett. This is on 16-count heirloom.
Yes.
Hand dyed by the Slovak Farm.
Si, senor.
I did.
I don't have a before picture because we forgot to take a before
picture. Here's real easy. These beads were done. All of the other beads on this piece, I did over the weekend.
So what? Here,
and there. I have discovered that if I ever look at a project with this much beading again, and I say I want it, look at me and go Nora Corbett.
So that means you don't want to do the Shannon Christine boat that you have.
Which one's that?
You have a pirate ship by Shannon Christine.
Is that the one with the big A moon?
I think so.
I believe that is in my, I think it's in my, maybe never pile. Do you want it?
Yeah, if you're not gonna do it.
It might take a couple weeks because I forgot what I think it's in the. I think it's in that.
I'm pretty sure I know where it is.
I mean, I'm not having that big of a deal with it, but this much beading, and like, it's kind of funny. Every single thing I am complaining about, this is Laura.
It's true. It's true.
Like, in all honesty, I want to look at the people that make the bead packs for the cross stitch when you're using the count that it calls for and go, ha!
Midnight Sale. That one.
Oh, dear Lord in the night. I completely forgot I had that.
Yes, he has that. If you're not going to do it, I will stitch it. I will stitch it. Pirate ship. I'm obsessed with pirates.
In all honesty, I might let you do it because it will get done faster because I have so many other things on my plate.
I love pirates. I literally want to pay for the Star streaming service just so I can watch Rocket Sales. Just saying.
And that was my weekend, actually.
stitched on this weekend. You did a lot, though, and I sat over here and stitched with him.
Yeah, because the reason why I haven't been putting it off is I have to stitch right here.
Yeah.
I can't stitch in my chair because beads in a recliner. Guess how that will end? Especially when something goes meow.
Exactly.
Fuck you! He rubbed my leg. Okay.
Hi, buddy. I gotta pet the buddy. Okay. Well, I started the week off with I needed to finish my last 3 July monthlies. Talked about this a little bit last week because I was part of the way through. I had 1 monthly done. I needed to finish my last 3 July monthlies. So I went with stitch with something that has each of the letters because I hadn't done letters yet. I will come up with things to avoid doing letters for the monthlies, like this letter stitched on here. Only because I know I have several projects that have words stitched on them and letters stitched on them, and that's the easy one, and that's when I use it for an easy out, such as now. So I stitched on You Are My Sunshine. Here is what it looked like when I started stitching on it, which was from the first time when I had started it. And here is 1,044 stitches later.
Hey, please clarify. What is this? It is a
finish!
I had way too much energy.
You certainly did.
Sorry.
It is a kit from Designs Work. It is titled, I think it's titled You Are My Sunshine. It is on Black 14 Count Ada. These beads were utterly disgusting. Like, they are so inconsistently sized. It's awful.
So is that why you felt my pain so strongly?
Yes. But I used this for E, I, and O, which finished off my monthly. I had a free pass for my very last monthly, so I got my monthly done.
Good thing it's the 31st.
Yes. But it is a finish. It was not that complicated,
Beads.
like I said, but the beads were just... The beads... if I ever get another design... So, Lady with Dog had beads, but I chose not to put the beads on there because I didn't like them. If I ever get another Design Works kit with beads on it, I will either substitute the beads or I will not do the beads. Because those beads were awful. Okay.
Sorry, ADD.
Squirrel?
I found a loose thread that's backstitch. I gotta shook it away later on.
Yes. So then we got into Poison Garden Week in Daily 30.
Poison Garden?
Yes, it's Poison Garden. It's about the garden in England that contains poisonous flowers. Like, literally, the whole garden can kill you. Everything in the garden can kill you or seriously harm you. There are signs everywhere that say don't touch stuff.
So, how many times do people need the antidote a year?
I don't know. They didn't mention that.
Dang, that would have been...
If I ever go to England, I actually do want to go walk through this garden.
I am not walking through poison! I am a fucking klutz! I will fall into deadly nightshade and have it enter my mouth! I am that level of klutz!
I think most of them, you have to ingest it for it to, like, kill you, but, there is a Shadowland that's Poison Garden, based on Poison Garden. That is the only Poison Garden cross-stitch I know of. If there was a different one, because I tried to do a Shadowland and it didn't work out so well, if there were a different Poison Garden cross-stitch, I would totally do it. Because it's like one of those weird things that fascinates me. Anyways, moving along.
Deadly things are pretty.
Yes, they are.
You are not deadly. You are about as deadly as a pussycat that's been declawed.
But I was able to use one project for 3 of the prompts. I had a free pass for one of the prompts, a whip of choice for one of the prompts. So I was able to use one project for 3 prompts. So I pulled out my birthday start, which is Belle by ARTM, one of the Quaker fantasies. Yes, it is based on Beauty and the Beast Belle. And
if you're new here, every Belle is Beauty and the Beast Belle. Every Beast is Beauty and the Beast Beast. Laura is very excited. I was going with excited. I was trying to be nice. Okay, she's really flipping obsessed with that story. Like she made the dress, the yellow one.
I did. So here's where it started. And here we are, 1,214 stitches later.
How big is this thing gonna be?
I have more fabric than we need. I have more fabric than I need. So most of my stitching, was, well, okay, all of my stitching was this motif here. I have this color here, this color in the center here, and the cup to finish, and that motif will be done. I use this, so this fit with the prompt for stitch on something with a grand house, because there's a castle on here somewhere. And if a castle is in a grand house, I don't know what is. Stitch on something with a rose on it. There's a rose on this bell. And then I use my whip of choice pass to stitch on this for my, for the prompt, stitch on something where you learned something new. So.
Can I just be smart real quick?
What?
As I said.
I have lots of bell needle binders.
Would you like to hear my smart A comment when you say grand house?
What?
I would actually stitch something with a shack and say that shack cost $1,000.
I think my daily 30 admins watch my videos. This is what I do.
Hey, I've had people come up to me at stitching retreats and ask me for help with prompts.
This is where some of the crazy stuff comes from.
Some?
Okay.
You were somewhat sane before we got together.
Next contestant.
Better not be a next contestant. I'm a one of a kind.
Yeah. So my Sal prompt and stitch on something with a fountain qualified for the same project. Y'all know where this is going. Tale as old as time, Sal. Here's where it started. And here is 709 stitches later. This is stitched on a, Bella's stitched on white fabric, on a white 32 count. This is on a 16. I have no idea what the color is because it was the Silk Weavers I inherited from somebody.
It's pretty.
It's sparkly. So I finished off the Good Book block and started the, I started the something that wasn't there before block. And I got Beast, I think Beast is all done over here. So there's supposed to be little backstitch beaks on the birds. Y'all ain't doing that. Ain't doing that.
I'm trying not to laugh. Hold it up straight.
I was gonna work on this, but honestly, I'm saving the mindless fill-in and Tale as Old as Time that goes across the top for when I finish with the blocks, or I'm really aggravated with the blocks. So if I get all done with the blocks. But
it's looking pretty.
It's not as aggravating as taking it in smaller chunks.
Isn't it pretty, y'all?
It's very pretty. I just change blocks. I sit down on the floor. Literally, this is what I do. Because there's so many colors in this. So when I get done with a block, I sit down on the floor. I take all of the flosses I have in it, divide it up by color, and go, okay, we need these color, you know, this color, this color, this color. If I don't have the color in here that matches the chart called for color, I pull whatever works best out of what's in here. Because, like, I have like 5 blues in here. I don't think I need 6 or 7, you know, I don't need as many blues. I don't need all the colors she calls for. And it's working fine. There's just too many colors in each chart. So, and then I just kind of keep them separate until, and then as I'm stitching the block, as I finish that color in the block, it goes back into the massive pile that is in here. And that seems to be working well. So, I don't need this one, I need this one. So.
Can I ask you a quick question?
What?
This is for everybody watching and for you. Does anybody know of any complicated patterns that only use a few floss colors?
I mean,
because sometimes I think some patterns, they're complex because of the confetti, not because of the...
Yes, that is very true. I would say that I would call a long dog complicated, but really it's just called for in one floss color, a monochromatic. But I would call that complicated, excuse me, because it's very intricate and...
Well, I mean, ink circles, same thing. But it's like... But I'd like to see somebody, like, I would love to see, and if anybody knows of any, patterns that are like 3 or 4, but the way they're done works beautifully with the way they do it. Like, I don't know, I just thought that'd be a really cool concept.
Yeah, it would be. Okay. Moving along. My final project of the week. Tale as Old as Time ended up dragging into Saturday. So I didn't get a lot of stitching time on my Olympics. But I pulled out Raven Queen again. And this is where she started. And here's where I got to. I only got 509 stitches on her this weekend. I am still not done with Olympic 27, the Athens Olympics. I have 4 weeks to finish that and get another 1900 stitches done on one of my projects to stay on track with completing it by the quarterly mark. I do know oh yeah, there's one real big one. There's one real big one in the next group, so like, yeah. I do think this is a 100-200 week for Daily 30. And there's stuff going on, but there's not as much going on as there was last month, so I think I'll be okay. If not, we're going to have to push aside the weeklies and focus on yearly. But this is stitched on... What the... I got like 5 half stitches in this last night and went, nope, I'm not stitching anymore tonight. Don't ask. So this is where I got to. This was 500 and, like I said, 509 stitches.
Ooh.
The center of her dress is all done. I replaced all the beads with one metallic, and that is Petite Treasure Braid 29. I have some more. There's going to be some more metallic around the bottom that replaces beads. I think I might have to call my LNS and get some more because I don't know that I'm going to have enough metallic. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. So obviously I color converted her. I have to figure out how I'm going to share my color conversion. I'm just going to share my color conversion as far as, like, when I finish her, I know I'll put it in the Mirror Valley group. Not everybody's going to be able to have the colors because I'm using two Victorian Motto sampler shop colors that don't match their DMC conversions. Mm-hmm. but it would give somebody an idea of where to go with it. So
Red.
that's red. The darkest red you can get.
Like the color of blood.
The darkest reds. I like dark reds. Okay. That has been my stitching for the week. I have all. So, we'll return with haul. Haul, y'all!
Yeah!
What haul do you have, darling?
My mother-in-law is awesome. My mother-in-law grew the cucumbers and then made them into pickles and then gave me some.
I don't like pickles, y'all.
And these are like the best pickles ever.
And before you come at me, yes, I know Chick-fil-A marinates their chicken in pickle juice. That I don't mind. I just don't eat pickles. Like, I don't eat a straight... I don't do pickles.
But, yeah, she gave me actually 2 jars.
Because he ate half the jar, the first jar she gave him last night.
I just kept stacking on it.
He's stacking on the pickles. We're sitting on the deck. Dad walks out back onto the deck. Dad, we're sitting on their deck. Dad went in to go to the bathroom. He walks out, comes back out. He goes, Joe's gonna need a jar of pickles. Jar's half gone. Mom and I were dying. I'm like, it's alright. We can save the pickle juice so I can make, because I have in my pile of recipes. I have somewhere in here. Somewhere in here, in my pile of recipes, I have how to make your own Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. I'm sure somebody's going to go, you need to share that recipe. It's deliciousness. But pickles are his haul.
By the way, when I say my mother-in-law, like, I think with how many pickles I ate, she might actually grow more pickles next year. I'm hoping.
She was tired of making pickles yesterday. Tired of making pickles.
Oh, I actually asked her next year. She needs to show me how she did it. Like, I want to help her do the entire thing so I know how to do it.
I know how to make pickles. I made pickles when I grew fucking cucumbers the first year we were... I dropped the F-bomb. The first year we were in the house in Illyria, I grew cucumbers. I picked those suckers. I cleaned those suckers. I pickled those suckers, and you didn't need them.
I was actually very mad because I forgot they were in the fridge. It's kind of why I ate as many as I did, because I don't want to forget them again. Okay. But if you do that again, I'll eat them. You can throw the jar at me, by the way.
I need to get my veggie box so that I can do my veggies. I was like, what is that blue light flashing back there? I got one of those Raid fly trap things. This is my haul.
What the? Oh.
If you follow me on social media, you know I posted this and was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I bought a wool applique kit. I bought the kit that comes with all of the fabrics necessary for it. I have absolutely no idea how to do this.
Why do you have somebody helping you?
Jerry said if I needed help, she will help me.
Yes, Jerry.
It doesn't tell me what kind of interfacing to use to like fuse the pieces together. I need to figure out how you best cut out the little pieces, because like it gives you a picture, a diagram, like it's an actual size diagram of each like little piece, and says use this to cut out your pieces. I have to figure out the best way to do that. Thread recommendations, it just says use a coordinating thread.
Got a question. How can thread have coordination skills?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask Jerry for a little bit of help when I see her on Wednesday at guild meeting. Just as far as like what kind of interfacing I use. The pin cushion on here has like decorative stripe pins. I didn't get those, and then I didn't get the button kit for the buttons patch. But there's also a kit, a set for the little backing circles. She was out of stock of those, so those I still need to get. I figured I would figured out how to start it before I worried about the accoutrement that get attached to it. It isn't super complicated because it's just surface embroidery. It's just the whole getting started part that I'm struggle bussing.
Well, you have somebody to help.
So, yes. And if that doesn't work, I do know that Christine over at Stitch All the Things does do these kind of things. I don't know if she has a video about it, but I can always say, hey, do you have a video about this? Could you do a video about this? Can't hurt to ask, right? So that's been my haul. I am determined. I spent enough on this. I am determined to do this. I am. I've always wanted to do wool applique. I think it's really pretty. So, but I figured I would start with something that's small. So, alright. So that's been haul. There might be more haul next week because guild meeting is Wednesday night and people always bring stuff for the freebie table. I need to take my bag of stuff for the freebie table and get rid of it.
Okay.
Because I'm tired of looking at it. Alright, moving along. Excuse me. Moving along to plans and announcements. Plans and announcements. If you have stuck with us this long, I appreciate you because it has been a bit of a long video this week. So, what are your plans? You're gonna beat some more and work on Elemental Dragons.
Wednesday? Because I'm not crazy.
This is true. Well, you're crazy, but not that crazy.
I'm crazy, not stupid.
Okay.
And I also plan on finishing off that jar of pickles. That's what I'm filming.
Okay.
Your turn.
My turn. I forgot to pull this up. So, it is Appalachian Trail Week in Daily 30. That ain't safe.
Or legal.
Absolutely. It is Appalachian Trail Week, Daily 30.
You share this with your cousin.
What?
Your cousin who's doing this?
No, he never got around to doing it. I don't know if he's going to be able to.
Oh, I thought he was training for it and everything.
I don't know. He might still be planning on doing it. So, my one cousin, who's, I think, only 2 or 3 years out of college, or maybe, he graduated in 2020, so now it's 3, wants to hike the Appalachian Trail, like the full Appalachian Trail, which is like a very long experience, but people who have done it have said it's worth it.
Have fun. I can't stand being on my feet all day doing work.
Yeah. Okay, so the Appalachian Trail crosses 14 states, 8 natural forests, 6 national parks, and takes an average of 6 months of hiking to complete.
And that's probably if you're in good shape.
Yeah, and most people generally, and I kind of always wonder this because it starts down in Georgia, Tennessee, Georgia. It starts in one of the southern states. I want to say it's Georgia. And goes up through Maine. Most people will start it in the spring in the south and work north. Why don't people start it? I mean, I understand why, like, as far as time of year, they start when they do. And they usually end up in the mountains of New England in the fall, so you have pretty colors. But I'm just wondering why you can't start. You probably could, but I have questions about the theory of working the way they do, because it's once you get up into like the really, really toughest parts of the Appalachian Trail are actually in Maine and the New England area. And I would think that doing that at the end, that would be really hard because you're so tired. And we watch...
Actually, from what I understand, most of the people who do that are not that tired because keeping yourself properly paced is the name of it to do it.
Well, so we watch the conservation officer shows, Northwoods Law, is the one that they started in Maine and then they switched to New England, or to New Hampshire. And when they were in Maine, they had a lot of calls for people on the Appalachian Trail and people in distress. And one of the officers said, we get a lot of calls up here for the Appalachian Trail, especially people who are attempting a through hike, because by this point they're just so exhausted.
We're not doing it right.
And I'm like, that doesn't seem to make sense to me. But anyways, moving along. So the prompt is to stitch on a whip that has less than 6 colors or more than 14 colors. So I looked at what I have not stitched on yet, and I had 3 options. I already started it. Can you guess which one I worked on?
No.
So, Celtic Valentine has 4 colors of floss in it. So that's what I started with. I have to get the beads for Celtic Valentine. Because of the elevation, the trail rarely tops the tree line, and it's sometimes called the Long Green Tunnel, because of the fantastic views that stretch for long periods. Stitch on a whip using a green color or shades of green. I don't do those, so that's where my free pass is going. Boom. As you pass through diverse topography, you will encounter moose, deer, fox, coyotes, black bear, snakes, and a host of other animals. Stitch on a whip with animals, 3 extra tokens if the animal is on your whip. So, Harvest Hauler and Sampler Book have animals on them. They do not contain the animals on that list. The reindeer contains an animal that's on that list. So, even though I technically already stitched on it for this cycle.
Get your tokens.
Get the extra tokens, he said. The topography in Pennsylvania is so rocky, it's nicknamed Rocksylvania. These rocks cover the ground surface and are loosely strewn about. The hikers say that they slip and slide over the rocks because the rocks they step upon may slide off the surface at any moment. It tends to slow progress down for the hikers. Stitch on a whip that depicts a surface that might be difficult to traverse. At first I thought, well, Harvest Hauler works for that because it's sitting in a field. But then I was like, well, okay, a field is only really difficult to traverse if you're, like, in a vehicle. If you're walking, it's not that bad. Depending on the field. What?
Shores!
I was thinking, Shores has rocky shores.
Well, the ocean's hard to traverse on foot.
The ocean? If I see them one more time, I'm calling the cops. There's somebody driving a gator around with an infant.
2 people, a gator, with their infant, know anything they should have on it.
Like, yeah.
On the street!
On the street. I realize this is a quiet street, but it's still a street. So Shores has the rocky shores. It has the ocean. So the Soda Stitch Beauty and the Beast has rocks around the castle. I have a couple of options, but if you want me to go with Shores, we'll go with Shores.
Let me check something really quick. I thought of another fun one, but I think you want to use it for something else. Actually.
What?
Nope, it doesn't show the train, it just shows the tower.
Yeah, it doesn't show the train. I was going to check this. If you're new here, this is how it works around here.
I laugh when people ask it, so we rehearsed this.
Yeah, if you're new here, this is how it works. I was going to check sampler book because to see
Does
what.
it specifically say terrain?
Yes.
Never mind. Okay. And that the terrain has to be on it, not just themed about it. Right? What?
Sampler book will work for the fox, the animal one. I forgot.
Okay. Then do sampler book then.
I don't know how to show this to you guys without showing the card. I totally forgot. I'm on the EF page, and the F is a fox. However, it does not have difficult to traverse terrain because the elephants are like walking in grass.
Um,
I mean, unless that's a jungle tree, so we could say the jungle is.
That could also be a palm tree on a nice, pretty beach.
See, yeah, I just don't feel like no.
But
No.
Shores would probably be a good bet. You're done. That one's a finish. Dang it, never mind.
What?
The Scenic Farm one with all the snow?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I have Jingle All the Way.
Is there any snow on reindeer?
I think there is some snow on reindeer.
Because that's the reason why you used a reindeer, because you couldn't walk.
Right. I mean, I'll look at reindeer and see if there's snow on it. If there's snow, well, we've already determined we're going to use sampler book for the animal. So, like I said, it's the 100, 200 weeks, so I really could, in theory, do alternative stitches and do 300 stitches if I want. If I decide not to, I will do shores. So, and then the last prompt is...
You know what? You have to do 500 stitches on sampler book now. I thought you would enjoy that.
500.
200 for this prompt and 300 for the alternative stitches. Make sense? I don't know if you like that idea or not.
I hadn't thought about what project I was going to do for the alternative stitches.
But...
Well, okay, so let's move along here.
Yeah.
Because the Appalachian Trail is home to thousands of species and plants, including 2,000 rare and endangered species. Stitch on a whip that has plants. Again, Harvest Hauler and Sampler Book have plants on them. Because Harvest Hauler has all kinds of fruits and vegetables and flowers. And Sampler Book has the palm tree that the elephants are walking by.
Harvest Hauler.
So.
That way we can knock this list down!
And usually when I do alternative stitches, I think, well, I could probably do the 200, the alternative stitches on Sampler Book. I was thinking if I do the alternative stitches, I would do it on Celtic Valentine.
That would work too.
But.
That would work too. Just get one of these stars.
Use as my alternatives. We'll see where we get. So.
Unless you have another project that you have. Actually, I just had a really good idea.
What?
Find something you can't find a prompt for on your stitch list that you haven't done yet.
Let's see. What do I have left that I haven't stitched on?
Do you want to do this after the video? Or just
no, because it's actually not a very long list. So I haven't stitched on Calla Lily Bride. So for those of you who might not be aware of this, I wrote down a list of all of my whips. And I kind of broke them into categories: almost finished, not near, not far from a finish, far from a finish. But the categories are kind of irrelevant at this point.
They move.
The only reason that they're relevant at this point is for my own personal
sanity.
Like these three that are up here in the almost finished category, I really want to get finished by the end of the year.
By the way, Calla Lily Bride.
So. Calla Lily Bride I have not stitched on this time. Sampler Book, Celtic Valentine.
And Harvest.
And Harvest Hauler.
So you're doing the Calla Lily Bride. And that way you're finished your list and you can start over again. Bada boom, bada bing.
Okay.
Do you not like that idea?
I just didn't think about doing that. Okay, I mean, I'm past the,
And yes, I think I attack problems from 4 dimensions. I actually attack it last week.
I mean, no, I have no problem with that. So then we can just restart the list. I do need to go through and erase a couple of things that have been done.
You know what I would say? Those that are hard to find prompts for, put a mark on them to say that these are what you want to do when you want to do
Alternative stitches.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that most of what's on the list is not too hard to find a prompt to fit. Scissors and Bobbin, Spirit of Christmas, Winter Solstice, Shores, Fallen. Yeah, most of these are not hard. Most of what is hard to find a prompt to fit it for is like Supernaturals, Tale as Old as Time, and even those aren't that hard. Raven Queen, not really Raven Queen, but like O Feathers and that Stamped Heart Succulent that I did. Oh, Greyhound Year, but I've already stitched. Oh yeah, I've already stitched on Greyhound Year. Okay, so like
Greyhound Year is easy because it has all those themes from the different months.
Right. So I tried to plan my yearly with stuff that I found challenging to fit into a prompt and stuff like that I really wanted to finish. So that's where Belle and Raven Queen fit in. O Feathers and ultimately now the Stamped Heart project are hard to fit into prompts. Arctic Blast is about the only one that's quote-unquote challenging to fit into a prompt, but
everybody likes the color blue for their prompts.
Well, you can do, but the colors, it has been fitting into at least one monthly a month. I mean, it's a good one to pick when I do want to do alternative stitches for something because it's color blocks and I can get it done quick. So
okay.
So I mean, but that's plans for the week. So
announcements, please comment below about our question all the way at the beginning of the video. Just to remind you, because I know it's been a while, what do you like? Do you like the idea of getting shirts? Do you want us to do that for merch? I would love to do one stitch at a time for like a coffee cup or something. I know they sell it. People actually, what their product is they make content creator stuff, print it out on random stuff that you can ask for, stickers or t-shirts, and then they sell it.
You've been able to do that for a while, because the shirts that I got us for the retreat that wasn't in 2020, we did through Teespring.
I think that's actually the one that I'm thinking, that's actually the one they use.
So we'll see. We'll come up with something.
Yep.
Stay tuned. Alright, that has been the video for the week. Sorry it was kind of long. This is what it is. Most of our videos clock in right around the half-an-hour mark. Sometimes we go a little long. What would we like the people to do, darling?
See where that squirrel was, because we just chased it all the way across the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, thingy-bobby, all that YouTube stuff to help us get over 1,000. Help that algorithm look at us and go, hey, maybe people might want to watch this. Share with your friends if you know they like to watch stitching content. And have a nice day. Have a nice week.
Have a great week. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.